This is the Bicycle Across Canada Journal for June 30th to July 2nd. On Saturday, June 30th, I flew out of Atlanta 4 o'clock in the afternoon, had a layover in Seattle for 2 hours, and then I landed in Vancouver, British Columbia around 10:30 at night. As I flew into the Vancouver airport, I saw the hotel that's at the airport, noticed a lot of the rooms weren't lit up, so I thought they were fairly empty. And I was pretty tired, so I decided to stay at the airport hotel for the first night. When I went to check in, they said all the basic rooms were gone, but they had a room for me for $300. So I told them no thanks, and I went back downstairs to put the bicycle together. I was bicycling around 11:15, 11:30 at night, and I was leaving the airport. I noticed that the rear derailleur wasn't shifting gears, so I pulled over in the dark and tried to see what was going on, and the cable had come undone from the tan pan. I have mountain bike gearing, and I was unable to fix it then, and I decided to just ride the 3 to 4 miles to the nearest hotel. The first hotel I tried to check into, they had no vacancies, so I started worrying, but I lucked out. The second one, they had a room. It was 83 Canadian dollars. The next day, Sunday, was supposed to be Canada Day, so I was worried that I looked online, the bicycle shops were closed, so I stayed up after the plane flight and tried to fix the rear derailleur. I was able to get it going again. I was only short one gear, so I went to bed maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was going to just sleep until I had to check out the next day. So now it's July 1st, it's Canada Day, it's a national holiday, a lot of things were closed. I woke up around 6:30, and I couldn't go back to sleep, and so I went and ate breakfast, and I thought maybe I'd come back and sleep in the room for a few more hours. I wasn't able to, so I said, I'm going to go ahead and ride, and I'll check this thing out. I waited around till 10 o'clock. I only found one bike store that may be open, so I thought I would test ride over there, and if there's any issues, I could see if they were open. So I left a little after 10. I didn't have any issues. I was just missing one gear. So I bicycled away from Vancouver. Vancouver is really nice. Not long after you leave the airport, you get bike lanes. I use Google Maps for navigation. That really helps you out with that. And the first day I did 100 miles to the town of Hope in British Columbia. Hope is also where they filmed Rambo's First Blood, if you're interested in that. The town only has a couple motels. It's nothing fancy, but they still charged me over $80 for a room that night. I didn't want to camp out yet. I just wanted my legs to stretch out in a bed and get used to kind of having a flow of being relaxed on the bicycle. So I wanted to stay in a hotel. Leaving Vancouver, it was a little cloudy. There was some wind coming from the west, which actually helped me, but it always wasn't with me. I was doing a lot of left turns, right turns, getting out of town, but I was able to stay in bike lanes. It was pretty easy actually on the first day. I thought I'd be in mountains, and there wasn't mountains. I even got on the Trans-Canada Highway 1, and it has a shoulder that's a pretty good size. It even has bicycle-friendly signs letting cars know that bicycles are on the highway, so that was nice. So far, Canada's extremely bicycle-friendly, heading from Vancouver to the east. So I got in Hope just after 6 o'clock. It had started raining. I slept the best that night, and then this morning, it's July 2nd, it's also Canada Day, so a lot of things were closed. I thought there would be a little less traffic. On Sunday yesterday there was traffic, and I thought there would be less traffic, so I thought maybe there's not going to be so much on Monday, but there seems to be a lot of tourism with Canadians during this time of year, so there's lots of RVs and people pulling trailers, and even tractor trailers were still working today. But I left Hope in the rain this morning. I stopped by the grocery store to grab some drinks, and then I followed some back roads to stay off the highway. Actually went Highway 5, which runs north. And it rained for a couple hours this morning till basically around 12 o'clock. And then I got back onto Highway 5, and it's pretty much the only road you have in this section if you take Highway 5. And when it turns into 3 lanes, basically you lose the shoulder. The shoulder on Highway 5 is a little bit smaller, almost half the size of Highway 1. So it's not as biker friendly, but there are some biker friendly signs, although they're not, there's not as many. So you will notice the difference riding on Highway 5 and Highway 1. I didn't feel well. I from the rain. I wore a jacket when I left town this morning. I got cold at some point in the ride today, so I stopped at a rest area. I just wanted to go to sleep. I'm really tired right now, but I talked myself into to keep going. It ended up raining some more, but it was just light drizzle, summer drizzle. But when it does rain, you do seem to get cold. It seems to be a cold wind that comes through. Colder than I was expecting. Also today, I did have to, if you want to call it a mountain, I went up to 4,000 feet. There was a sign on the side of the road. That's how I knew. And I did that in the rain. And then after the break, I had the rest area. The rest of the day was pretty easy riding. I had like another 30-40 miles to go. The wind again today was behind me, blowing in from the west. So that's unusual for me to have 2 days of wind behind me. Even though in the rain and clouds yesterday, if you can see my arm, I did get a little suntan. So you may want suntan lotion. I just don't use suntan lotion unless I am charring. I'm absolutely frying my body, so I wear a visor. But anyways, I was dragging today. I made it through to the town of Merritt. But eventually on Highway 5, I decided to jump off onto Coldwater Road. It seems to be like the old Highway 5. It's just a 2-lane road. There's only past maybe 10 cars in the 30 miles or so. So I liked it. It is probably a little bit more hilly, but it's nothing dramatic. It's nothing that stressful. And like I said before, it rained off and on throughout today's ride. I was cold tonight when I got into town, so I've decided to stay again in a hotel. And this one's again around the $80, but with tax you're paying around 100 Canadian dollars, which is way more than I want to spend. And I went to the grocery store tonight, and everything is $3 to $5 to $10. So you really do. So far, I'm spending more money than I was expecting, but I guess that's the way it's going to be in Canada. My bicycle's doing well. The only gear that maybe I would change from what I told you before is just my hands got a little cold. I don't know that I would bring gloves or bar mitts, but today did have me questioning, is it going to be colder? So far, the temperatures, they seem to range right around the mid-60s. It is supposed to get hotter in a few days. I don't worry too much about it, but I did check, and it doesn't seem to get below 50 at night. But rain, so far, it's like 50% every single day. So, but that's it for the journal from June 30th to July 2nd. I thought I'd try the journal instead of writing because I'm always so tired. And I thought this may work out better than I've done in the past. Well, we'll see if you like it, if I enjoy doing it. I do have to do it several times, and I know I'm forgetting so many things that I was thinking about prior to this video. So that's the unfortunate thing with the writing. I can go back and edit it. So hopefully I got enough across about what happened to me in the last 3 days.